So my name is Anish. To those who don't know me, I was there in the morning over here. You guys had some good fun, and I was able to interact with a few of you outside. So the company I work for is called ChainX Game. And what is ChainX Game? ChainX Game is a Web3 e-gaming publisher. So it's like, see, it will be great if some of you can come forward because the chairs in the front are literally available and vacant. There would be a few giveaways, of course, as a part of this question and answer. It will be really good to learn. So e-gaming is on the rise, and the question is, where does India stay? That is the first question that a lot of people have asked me. So India is more ready than any other time from a history per se for e-gaming. Anybody knows any reason why India is ready now for e-gaming more than any other time? 5G, internet. So less than 50 cents, which is less than 50 cents, you are getting unlimited internet from a 5G perspective, number one. And what does e-gaming need? High speed internet. And second thing is the youth involvement. Why? Because social media has a very big impact, number two. And what about the next content creation side? We have a lot of content creators. And who are the content creators? You expect 30-40 people to do it? Students. Students are the content creators. So you people literally challenge the status quo. There is a lot of transformation that's happening from a parent perspective as well. Parents have started to view e-gaming as a very serious career for their children. That's another one critical element. And at the same time, something very important is there has been a lot of transformation in the gaming side. How many of you have used a PlayStation, or how many of you have used a Xbox, or yeah, see there, I mean, vast majority of you have used it. So what is the difference between that and, guys, can we have a mic around? So it will be great if we can interact with them, because I do not like to give one line, hello. Yeah. So what is the difference between an Xbox and a typical Web3 game that has come out, or whatever it is? How has that changed? There's a lot of seats available in the front, guys. So yeah, go ahead. Multiplayer system. You're not directly exposed to multiplayer. That's number one. You can stream. Actually, the funny part is you can even stream out of an Xbox also. Go ahead.
They have added monetary benefits with Web3. So
the monetary benefits to Web3 is number one. Number two, see, the whole processing used to take place where? In the cloud. That is a change that Web3 and what the PUBGs of the world have bought. Before, the processing used to take place in a hardware which sits over there. So once this has come out into the cloud processing, the game has changed, number one. Number two, there is a whole ecosystem where you have telecom companies playing a very active role in e-gaming in a big way, because they know where their position is. Before, what? It was offline game. Number two, cloud. We talk about companies like Alipay, AliCloud. We talk about Huawei, Amazon, Azure, everybody coming into this gaming infrastructure. Then again, the social media community, which has a very big role to play. How many of you are aware that games, music, or the background is used in parties? And there are more clubs today driven by gaming communities than any other ecosystem. And if you see some of the prizes, for example, there is an event going to happen right now in Abu Dhabi for Counter-Strike. Take a wild guess, how much is the prize money? It's $1 million. So that's what I'm saying. I always use this as a catch line. we all are people who aspire or dream about or see or look enviously at some of the celebrity cricket stars or players, etc. All that. So today that entire ecosystem has changed, where if you know your 13-year-old brother or sister, I repeat, women are now very active in e-gaming. Some of so that's another one big thing that has come in. Before it was a men-only zone, and now today women are good in typical Counter-Strike headshots than men. Men can just sit and watch while women just win all the glories. So that's another one. That's another one change that is happening out over here in the space. And so it would be great, as I said, it would be great if you can start asking questions. And trust me, depending on the quality of the question, towards the end, I'll make sure that you guys get some giveaways. Is that good? Yeah, something for you guys to cherish. And at any point in time, you have a good crowd and you want to learn what e-gaming is, you can reach out to me directly after this event, and I'm more than happy to collaborate with you, and we all can do a hustle, and we can possibly see how we can collaborate and have a gaming community built in your school, in your universities, and we can even do parent, teacher and gaming company interactions to see how. See, if you look at e-gaming, it's just not alone the game part. How many of you are fan fiction writers or who likes fan fiction writing? Any fan fiction people out over here? Great. So I got an 11-year-old daughter who is into fan fiction of Harry Potter. She's creating a Harry Potter series where Harry Potter is a villain. Wildest of imaginations. So I just let it go. Go on, keep writing. So we always look for good fan fiction creators who would love to write stories on our characters. And take a wild guess, what do? When we develop the next game when we develop it, we contact these people first, saying we would like to have a good story around our game. It's that story that sells in reality. Gaming is just a piece of it. So I would love to see some questions coming in from our friends over here. Pass the mic, I'm not sure. Yeah, go ahead and pass it. There you go, we got our gentleman out over there.
So my problem with Web3 gaming is about unsustainable economics. Like these are mostly over-reliance over NFTs, and we know that NFTs, they aren't scalable. There is a lack of liquidity.
Yeah.
Or they are difficult to value. Then how are you planning to tackle over all of these? Like, what's your view or opinion over this?
So number one is, we started off, and see, if you look at any startup for that case, if you look at Twitter is, what do we use Twitter for? Do you think Twitter is a social media company? To me, Twitter is a news company. Twitter is a news company with, so NFT, if you see the use case of NFT, it's not just in e-gaming space alone. You can use NFT as a membership even to the university where you're studying. This is a student, and the student has this much access, and you can use it as a membership. You have a gaming community, correct? If there is a private club inside your school or in your university, people are there who are members of it. Create an NFT around it and pass it. Only people with this NFT can access this club. And you can mint this NFT free. That's another one use case, correct? Non-fungible token. Next, what is the use case of NFT? You can use it for making recipes. Same like that, if you come into gaming space, each of the characters would be getting some or the other. For example, in our game Revoland, which I highly recommend everyone to try, it's a MOBA based action game. We know kids out in different parts of the world, especially in Africa, in Southeast Asia, who makes anywhere between $20 to a solid $150 a day. We always hire streamers or gaming enthusiasts, and they spend nothing less than 90 minutes in our game every day. And that is where they make, and you cannot play that game without proper skills. You can have an NFT worth $2,000 inside and can completely be beaten if you don't have the skills. So it's more of a skill-based gaming. Now, if you talk about NFT, we were in the initial days struggling to get our NFT be bought over by who? bought over by the gamers. What are gamers called in e-gaming community? What is the other name for a gamer? Guys, you are relatively new to e-gaming, I guess that's the reason. They're called scholars. We call them scholars. And what do we do for scholars? We give them scholarships. How is it, man? I mean, it's a new space for you guys. It's completely new and you're learning it. It's perfectly all right. So this is why education is important, I said. So you should use the right terminologies. You should use all these, because it's a Web3 world. So in Web3, we call gamers as scholars. And people who are aspiring scholars, what do they get? Scholarships. So we offer scholarships. That's another one key thing with us. We sit with them, we teach them, we train them, we make them learn the entire thing. That's number one. So we were struggling to sell our NFTs. But today, take a wild guess, what do we have? We have students who are business owners in our ecosystem, where they start to buy the NFT, they use it to win games, and they can only use it so much that it's not an unlimited thing, you know, you just keep, even the $2,000 has its own limits. So they use it for energy potion, they have pets. If you come with a pet, you are more, so different elements gets added into it. And then what happens is we drive it on a completely new arena altogether, where the student starts to own multiple NFTs. So a person can have maybe 5 or 6 or 8 NFTs. He then gives it across to other children who likes to play. So so that's where basically a very, how many of you have heard the terminology gaming guilds? So there you go, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So gaming guilds are, yeah, we talk about guilds are ecosystems where gamers or scholars take membership in, and they give you access to the entire NFT library. And as you play upfront, you might not be able to invest in an NFT. That's perfectly fine. But you can play and earn and make sure that that earning is shared with the person who owns it. And there is a complete business economy around it. Now, the biggest part of gaming is not in the gaming part alone. There is a whole lot of other elements that comes in. So the gaming guilds play the role of, let's say in tennis it's Wimbledon, in cricket it is IPL, in football it is FIFA, EPL, La Liga, you name it all, yeah? So these are different ecosystems. Today if you see the number of streamers who come and who stream games, or people who view it, today gaming view has more viewership and more contents developed in, they have more viewership than Netflix and all the Prime and all these major streaming services. They have much bigger. So if I see that the team out over here in C# wants, or if you have a good community with more than 5,000, 10,000 people, it's so easy for you to even start a streaming service. So this is where, as I said, a lot of, so Netflix comes all the way into the space. So you get YouTube coming in. How many of you have heard Twitch? There you go, most of you have heard Twitch. So all these different companies are coming into role, and as a result, if I'm not wrong, 2019 odd, it was a $180 billion industry, and we foresee this to be a $300 billion industry in the next couple of years. And I doubt that it will take even 2 years, because internet is going to be available at a much lower rate. Now, the whole thing is people are taking this into a metaverse scenario. How many of you have started to use metaverse? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not bad. How many of you have played Counter-Strike? Okay, guess what? I'll break the suspense over here. It's very sad to say, but you guys are already in a metaverse. See, Counter-Strike is a metaverse in itself, correct? you are inside that ecosystem already. So the whole immersive element is now. So the next time someone throws a swag, I'm in metaverse. It's a Counter-Strike PA, yeah. So this is where, we should get these sort of people come from where it is to where they are. I'll ask my first question. Let me see. You know, I'm not a guy who runs. You can see there is no content over here. I'm a guy who I have a couple of cloud presentations. I'm more than happy to throw it up over here, but it's so boring. Death by PowerPoint, I never do it. My simple rule, only raise hands. Nobody gives answers, okay? First question. So, Chainx Games game that runs on NFT, what is the name of it? Hands up. Okay, I got the first hands up over there.
Riverland.
Oh man, come on man. Is this the way you acknowledge the winner? My good man, you have a t-shirt over here, man. Can I? Why don't you open it? Guys, can we have a picture? You want to open it? You can open it. You're more than welcome, you know. That's okay. Nice. Thank you, bro. That's for you. He's doubting whether he got it or not. Okay, next. My next easiest question would be, in the gaming economy, which part gets the highest pay? Is it the game or where? Hands, only hands, only hands. I'll pick someone from here. What about you, sir? Streaming. That's correct. Oh, yeah. So, are you contented with the cap?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. So, my next question is even more relatively simple. Okay, what would be the question? What would be a good question now? Why don't I leave it to you guys to come up with another one, doubts if you have on e-gaming. Go ahead. Yeah, it's a metaverse environment.
Yeah. So can I say that all the games that I play on computer are metaverse?
Absolutely.
Okay, that means
See, that's an ecosystem you have
Right.
designed. What is metaverse? It's another land, another world beyond what we live in. That is what metaverse means.
right.
See, before Mr. Newton discovered gravity, did things flow up? No, right? It was still falling down.
Right.
That's the same thing. If you give a rose another name, do you think the smell is going to change? So same way, metaverse is a very fancy terminology we all use today. And yes, you can do a lot of immersive experience today. Even right now, metaverse has not reached its optimal situation because it's the it's in the dial-up stage of internet right now. So if you see a typical example, your Netflix is yet to come, your Uber is yet to come in the Web3 world. They are all going to come, and it's going to take, it will be in your good age, when you have kids, when you'll be settled with a wife, when you make a house and when you move in, that by then you will have all these things in Web3. Your data, for example, how many of you use a Brave browser? Oh, not bad. How much do you earn per month, guys? Selling your data, man, seriously, come on. You don't sell, huh? Okay, good. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
The follow-up question is basically if you want to get the immersive experience, that is through AR, VR.
Yeah.
Right. So how hard or like what is the system? How they get a Counter-Strike game to be played in AR, VR? Like what's the how do they do that?
So the best answer for this, my rule in life is very simple. I'm not a person who knows answer to all the questions in this planet. So option one, but I know for sure somebody else who will know it. The first person you can actually get into this particular consulting space of this is our good friends who has a booth over there in the far right over there. They are a great starting point, number one. Number two, we can actually try, you can have this, if we can swap the numbers, I can get you a typical podcast or a YouTube of it, and I'm more than happy to share it with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's your question, bro?
Sir, as we know that Web 3.0 is basically a single domain platform
Okay.
And also its development complexity are very high.
Okay.
So if we like start up or we like made a game which using that Web 3.0, would it be inconsistent?
So again,
For now, like it's still discovering like Web 3.0.
so what we did is actually very simple. We made an SDK API, we made a complete kit. That's a very interesting question actually. So what we did is, people who have jugaad, they win actually. So the whole rule in life is jugaad works. So if you see any of the startups, any of these things, they have not done anything new. For example, when I create a university in Metaverse, somebody has already done it. What is it? Udemy. It's already there. But what we did, we gave it a new name, a new flavor, new thing, and we changed the business model slightly. We put a learn to earn ecosystem over it. So same way is Web3. Web3 is where you have the early endorsement of it. People who are interested, they come into it. So what we did is we developed a very normal game, and we have an SDK that works in, which collects the points. If I'm not a programmer like you guys, but still, you get a CSV value format, which is comma separated value. What do you guys do? Your telephone, your address, your phone book, everything runs on that. You have an SDK, what does it do? It gets absorbed inside. Very simple. So that's another one. So we have more questions coming in.
Sir, what is the difference between simulation and metaverse?
I'm not the best person who can give you an answer for it. Would you want to give that answer for that? Okay, my good man over here will give you an answer for that.
Okay, I think what you're saying is simulation. Okay, first of all, it was him, right? Yeah, simulation and metaverse, right? So the words simulation and metaverse are utilized simultaneously when you're talking about NVIDIA Omniverse. So at that point of time, you're talking about a digital twin. That is also called a metaverse, but it doesn't just hold capacity to mimic the functional and viewer perspectives of what is happening inside. But when we're talking about NVIDIA Omniverse, so it can also copy the functional aspects. Which means if I'm taking a robotic arm, if I'm making a virtual copy of it in a 3D model, I can connect the physical properties of the physical twin to the digital twin, which means I grab the digital twin, make it move the arm, the physical twin's gonna copy the movement. That is a simulation. So that means the simulation has to be precise to the point it has to follow real world physics. A metaverse, in terms, it can be a fantasy land, as he said, it can be a story, it can be a fan fiction model. It does not need to follow any such rules. You've played GTA, right? You slam into a wall, the wall breaks. People fly, everything happens. It's like it's all fine.
And if the coding is really great, the wall does not break and the car does not break.
Yeah, that's one of the best things. It's like you switch on God mode and then that's it, nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
I mean, God mode existed even when they had Age of Empires too, like when I was born, itna pehle se. So, but when you're talking about a meta space with a simulation aspect, so at that point of time, you're talking about 100% precision to copy the physical elements as they would in the real world. मतलब अगर एक मेटा स्पेस विच इज सिमुलेशन उसमें अगर वो गाड़ी जाके उस दीवार में घुसेगी ना तो एक्चुअली उस वॉल का कितना स्ट्रक्चरल इंटीग्रिटी है, वो वॉल के क्या एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, वो वॉल का क्या स्ट्रेंथ है, क्या लोड बेयरिंग कैपेसिटी है, यहाँ तक कि अगर वो दीवार गिराने से ऊपर का कॉलम गिरेगा ना तो वो भी मिमिक होगा. दैट इज द डिफरेंस. सो एक्चुअली माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वुड बी टू यू.
Okay, go ahead.
So you have the capacity to generate a VR space for, as you said, you're trying to create a simulation for a university, correct?
Yeah.
What if you could come up with the solution for hackathons, a virtual hackathon? So, a lot of currently, I think Apollo did a hackathon on Hacker Earth itself. On Hacker Earth. They were trying to come up with optimization solutions for their hospitals, routes and mapping to ensure that they could get emergency care to the patients, better manage infrastructure and everything. Now, doing that while imagining what the hospital looks like, trying to understand how everybody functions is very difficult. But what if you could become the source of are you fine?
I hope you're all right, yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah. He was trying to get a better view of yours.
So what if you could act as an interface for providing, kind of like a VR space which basically mimics the concept of the hackathon?
So that's a great idea. Actually, there are companies, if I'm not wrong, already get into the whole thing. No? Okay, great. So if you are talking about that, that's a great pitch which we can possibly consider. And so whatever we are able to do today, really, to my knowledge, especially a classroom, a teacher teaching, a fire drill that happens around your company, man, come on, we guys are having obituary meetings where the dead person also speaks in Metaverse.
And
So from a
furthermore,
hackathon perspective, I think we should look at it and we should possibly think about that as an idea. And I think some of the bright minds should put across that into a pitch, into a white paper, and then see the whole feasibility of it. And speak most importantly to the users. For example, when we develop games, it's important that we always speak to the proper gamers. Hey, how do you find this game? That's why we say we reach out to universities, we reach out to schools, we reach out to these players over there and we ask them how the game looks like. Is it acceptable? Do you think this feature is good? Should this guy have a wing or should he have a hand? Or should he have both? It depends. Yeah. That's a great, it's something which is great. We should possibly consider that. Any questions, guys?
yeah, no more goodies for us?
Yeah, you will be getting the goodies. I'm just waiting for more questions and then I take a decision who are the guys who are going to get it. Okay, we got another. I'll come back to you, sir.
Hi, sir. Sir, I want to know that as Web3 is an emerging community and not many games are there.
Yeah.
So, you know, the games present on the Web3 are for a particular community, or you can say only a niche community plays those
Yeah.
games. So, as you know, only a niche community is playing that game. So, how is it profitable? Or you're saying that how is it? What is that?
What is it that drive it?
That drive it or giving it more money as compared to
That's a quality question actually. So there you go. Number one, see, if you look at any Web3 gaming or e-gaming or whatever it is, it has a few, as I said, it has an ecosystem that goes around it. Number one is the merchandise that goes around with it. I gave away a cap and I gave away a t-shirt. That's a great starting point. There might be a kid who might be so obsessed in playing, he will be looking for this particular t-shirt in Amazon. If he cannot find, what he will do? He will take the logo, put it on the t-shirt and print it and then he's, correct? That's the second way of doing it. So that is one ecosystem. When today people are launching movies, if I'm not wrong, there was a movie called Ram 1 or Ra 1 or something. Ah, there you go. You guys are all Bollywood geeks. Okay, I'm not a movie buff, that's the reason. Okay.
everybody's comparing the VFX for 12 to 22 and they say 12 aren't better. So Shah Rukh Khan did it better in 12.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Technology always changes. We can see things coming. How many of you have seen the trailer of Matrix 5, the game or so? Okay, now comes a question to guys. Only hands up. Which engine was used to make it? Come on, hands up only, man. I think this guy over here deserves it because the fact is he kept to the rule. Whether he says the wrong answer or anything, it's more important. So I'll have something out over here for you, my man. It will be here. Any more questions? I missed your question, sir. I hope I have answered your question. Excuse me, my friend. I hope I have answered your question. There's a whole ecosystem that comes in it. You have your streaming coming. That is where people make a lot of money. You have your merchandise coming in, make a lot of money. How does your community grow? It runs, okay, Web3 gaming or typically Web3 runs on three things. Fear of missing out. FOMO rocks. Always FOMO rocks. Did you try that? Did you get that token? Whether the guy loses money, pays money, but he wants to be in the thing. He wants to be in the club. He does not want to be missed out. And guess what? He likes it or not, it's for that particular community satisfaction. He's in it. And that's exactly the same way how this whole ecosystem works. Sir, your question.
Yeah, my question is regarding when we talk about gaming in Web3,
Yeah.
we normally take only NFT and crypto into this area that okay, we need to use that.
Yeah.
But which games you think are now using decentralized storage and server capacity so to decrease the cost? Because that's the basic problem they face, storage and everything.
Unfortunately,
And how blockchain is helping in that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not aware of any games that use it. Now, I don't want to possibly give you a wrong answer. I'm not aware of it. But in due course, I will possibly get to know it, and I'll ensure that I will reach out for you. But please do share your contacts. That's what. Go ahead. The mic. We have a person here. Are we running out of time? No. Go ahead.
So like I'm not more into e-gaming.
Yeah.
But like my question would be like you are talking about the collaboration of e-gaming with the other world and the community.
Yeah.
So how e-gaming and the collaboration should go in a parallel way. Like the production should be in a how we can build up the things that we can carry forward our e-games into a very larger portion that will affect the whole audience. Like what should be the proper collaboration techniques that we can achieve in that? Like the collaboration should be with experience or with the newbies. Like.
Okay. So I would possibly give you an answer. 1 out of 3 person on this planet already is a gamer. It's like we as a guys, every other person who we know is a gamer for sure. Whether they play Angry Birds, they play a Web3 game, they play a GTA, they play a FIFA, whatever it is, they are at some point, or a Candy Crush, they are a gamer for sure at some point in time. You use it today even in your education perspective also. There are 2 things that you should take into consideration when you develop a game. Too many cooks spoil the broth. So make sure that you put only the relevant people who are from that particular domain into this whole thing. That's number 1. Number 2, newbies. How do you attract newbies? The answer is very simple. You need to know what are, so there are a lot of surveys that are getting conducted, and you can use a proper research mechanism by which you can ask these people the features and functionality. See again, 1 out of 3 person is already a gamer. So there is a high chance that whoever you approach for a survey, there's a chance that he's going to give you a feedback. A person is not a gamer because of 2 reasons. Either it's not because he's not interested. It's just like movies. Everybody likes to be in a movie, but it's just that they are not getting the chance or the opportunity, or their priority is a completely different thing altogether. Same way is when it comes to e-gaming also. If you want a good e-gamer to come up, you need to start training them at a right age. You can start at 20, you can start at 13, you can start even at 30 or 50 also. I know streamers who are even 50 plus who still stream and they have fans following them. So it's not about the age, it's just a number when it comes to this. So again, but you need to know if they have the same appetite, same taste, and so on. That's what is going to drive it. So make sure that you speak. So targeting new people, I doubt it. Targeting existing gamers, fantastic. Go ahead.
Actually, I'm very much new to Web3 gaming.
Okay.
But whatever you're trying to sell right now seems very much similar to traditional gaming which we have been hearing. So what are the key differences?
Key difference, you earn when you play. So there are 3 ways right now in Web3
like
gaming
in
you can
streaming,
earn.
Like you told us that there are streaming stuff.
Yeah.
So it's available with
It's
the
all
traditional
available,
gaming.
yeah.
So there are other stuff like the merchandise and stuff which are also available with traditional gaming. So what are the key differences
Valid
for the
question.
monetary stuff?
That's a good question. So anybody else has a doubt what is the difference between Web3 gaming and your traditional Web2 gaming? Don't you think that it's same? So I would take their answer and then I will refine it from my side. So I would prefer I give them the chance, because these are hardcore guys who, you know, they're even inside their blood, if you see hemoglobin is less, crypto is more. Go ahead. Go ahead, use it properly.
We have to buy like any weapons or something. We can use crypto. Crypto money involvement is basic in 3 points.
But he's saying that in the Web2 world you are having physical money, correct? Yeah. Yeah.
So 3D graphic, the involvement of 3D graphic is major plus point for 3.0. But it will actually increase the cost. Like as someone actually asked the same question that it will be.
Yeah, I want him also. Why don't you come forward if you don't mind, so we all get to see you.
The basic difference between Web 2 and Web 3 is in Web 2 you do not own the asset in the game. Web 3 you own your avatar, you own your sword, you own your shoes. First, second thing, when you are making the money in Web3, that money is going in your pocket. In Web2, that money is not going in your pocket, that money is going with actually with the game. And you are just earning from streaming and other ways, not by playing the game. So that's the way the play to earn come when it was started.
Guys, any more answers? Because I'm going to streamline and give a completely different perspective. I'll just structure it, that's all, you know. I like the hardcore Web3 guys to give an answer. Yeah, you have an answer. Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
That's okay. I think I am audible, however. So one very important thing which I think is a difference in terms of gaming in Web2, you can't take out your specific avatars or, I mean, I am not from gaming, however, whatever, specific, what do you say, avatars or any weapons, say for example, gaming assets, you can't get them out to some other gaming platform,
so you
right?
can use,
so you can reuse because you own it, which means that you can cross
interoperability, we call it,
yes,
correct?
you can use that, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good answer. Come on, guys. Any more answers, guys? One of you here, he is having an answer. Come on.
Sir, Web3 is actually decentralized so that consumers own the rights of the games.
Okay, to the assets. That's put in a different way. Any other answers, guys? Yeah, we have one more answer coming in. So we are answering your question. Why I am asking them to answer, because the gray element that we have should be tweaked. Because we are running this entire Web3 summit for a reason, correct? So if I give all the answers, I just don't want to do that. Go ahead.
In Web3, there is a community behind a game, and that help us to stick with the game or to.
Web2 also has it, bro.
But yeah, I have not seen in Web2, but I have seen more on Web3 side.
Web3. Okay.
It gives we stick to the game and we use on a daily basis, or let's say we interact with that person or we form a bond with that person and play with them. So that's a new way to play in Web3.
It's a great answer. Okay. So I'll stream this whole thing. Nobody else are there, so I'm going to possibly give my answer. Number one. Huh? Yeah, you can add. Where's the mic? I mean, it would be great if you can add his viewpoint as well.
The biggest factor for difference between Web2 gaming and Web3 gaming would be transparency. You know exactly what you're paying for when you buy something in a Web3 space. You have no idea what level and tiers of hidden costs are involved. Like, if one of the biggest examples we can take is when you're selling game assets in a Web2 gaming space, you're using Steam. Now, how much commission does Steam require? How much is going to others? You have zero idea कि किसके pocket में कितना जा रहा है.
Correct.
But when you're selling something via Web3, so you know exactly what's your gas fee, you know exactly what's your minting fee, you know the entire division value and the code that is generating that value for your NFT.
Fantastic.
So you have 100% ownership.
So the answer, to summarize what you have said, what everyone over here has said, what is the bloodline of Web3 gaming? It's blockchain. So anything on blockchain, what are the features of blockchain? Traceability, correct? That's exactly where our friend has given that answer. So anything, whatever you do, there is a traceability element that comes in, number one. Number two, the high scores. In the Web2, you switch off the game, you reset the game, what happened? Your credits, your score, everything gone. Number two. Number three, the whole community element. My good friend over there said, you come from a Polkadot community, you come from a Polygon, you come from a BSC, Ethereum, we don't care. We are the ultra minority in this world, correct? And when we are ultra minority, what do? You can come from any chain background, any project background, but we stick as one. So that's the next thing. In the Web3 arena, there are three ways how you can do. One is play to earn. The second is stream to earn. And the third is watch to earn. So we got all the elements. So a streamer gets money. The person who watches it gets money. You watch YouTube, correct? How much are you getting? No, tell me, seriously tell me, why are you still watching YouTube, man? Yeah, so rather than doing that, switch, preach, be a preacher. Web3 is an amazing space to preach, and even still the Web3 streaming arena is still it's a great space to possibly collaborate and to enter into. Even if right now, if I have 5 bright minds in this room start a streaming company, I would be the first person to subscribe to it, and I will inform the 100+ people who are following me to follow it. And if you need any help from a tokenomics perspective, again we can bring some of the brightest minds into it. So stream to earn, watch to earn, play to earn is the future. So it's only a matter now, people are doing workout also. These days people do workout to earn also. So it's very good. So I rest my presentation out over here. There was a small misunderstanding. This was a jugaad which I just did out of nowhere, because I thought this to be a panel discussion, and then I'm informed that this is a solo presentation. I apologize. I have a PowerPoint, but I didn't want to kill any of you with a death on PowerPoint, because you can find the white paper in our website, ChainXGame or revoland.com. You can still download it. People who like to read through it can go through it. I hardly read through all these things, but yeah. So some of the guys who have asked the questions, I'll be walking to you and I'll pass over whatever I have, and let's see whether you are okay with it. Thank you. Young man, why don't you come down? It'd be really great to have you as well. Appreciate you having. Thank you. Appreciate that. We had some more people out over here who asked questions. Yeah, if you don't mind, please, your good self as well. Okay, I'm not sure the sizes, guys. Either you wear or somebody else you know wears. Come on. It'd be great if you can also come in. Thank you, guys. And I have a young lady over here, if you don't mind. I have a friend over here who I have not answered the question to. If you don't mind, can you come over, sir? You asked a very good question, but unfortunately I was not able to answer you. But that, ma'am, can you please come over if you don't mind? So this is courtesy ChainX Games, and we don't do airdrops. But if you have a community, we give away NFTs. NFTs anywhere between $80, $100 to $2,000. So keep. Thank you. So we organize university visits or live streams where we give away NFTs to the students or to the university, which they can use for sharing it with their dear ones, and they can play to earn. So how many of you use a MetaMask? There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, man. We need more hands up. So please start downloading it. Be in the grind, and I hope that you don't miss out on the major. Thank you so much.